Welcome to GIST English Masterclass. Let's talk about small talk. For a lot of us, those two words can be just a little bit nerve-wracking, right? But what if I told you that you could have a few really simple, powerful tools to turn all that anxiety into confidence? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. So, does this sound familiar? You meet someone new, maybe it's at work, maybe at an event, and your mind just goes totally blank. It happens to the best of us. It's such a common feeling, but here's the thing. Small talk isn't just, useless chatter. I want you to think of it more like a friendly social bridge. It's genuinely how we connect, how we show we're open, and how we start building those important relationships. And you know what the best part is? You absolutely do not need a huge vocabulary to build that bridge. We're going to focus on just 4 super simple but really essential words. These are the words that will help you sound open and confident. And what are they? They are what, where, when, and were. All right, so let's get into it. We're going to unlock better small talk by looking at these 4 key question starters one by one. First up, we have what. Now, think of this as your go-to word whenever you want to ask for information about something. It could be about a person's job, their opinions on something, or even just what they're up to. Seriously, it's incredibly versatile. Just look at how these questions can slide into almost any professional setting. What do you do? I mean, that's the classic opener, right? What brings you here today? Perfect for a conference. And asking, what did you think of the presentation? Wow, that's a brilliant way to connect with someone right after a meeting. And here's the magic of a what question. It opens the door. It's not just a one-and-done exchange. It practically begs for a follow-up. So when they say, I work in marketing, you can easily jump in with, oh, that's interesting. What kind of marketing? And just like that, boom, the conversation is alive and growing. Okay, let's move on to our second tool, where. It's pretty straightforward. We use this anytime we want to ask about a place. It could be someone's hometown, their office, or, hey, even where they managed to find that amazing cup of coffee. Here are some really good examples. And I want you to pay close attention to this one. Where are you based? In a business setting, this just sounds a little more professional than where do you live? It's a tiny little tweak, but trust me, it can make a big difference in how you come across. And just like we saw with our what example, this is not the end of the conversation. Nope, it's the beginning. After someone tells you I'm based in Paris, that's your perfect cue to ask a follow-up question about the city, or maybe about their work there. It's all about keeping that dialogue flowing nice and smoothly. All right, on to our third key, when. This is your go-to tool for anything and everything related to time. You can use it to ask about someone's schedule, when they started a new job, or even their past experiences. It's so useful for connecting a conversation to a timeline. These are absolutely fantastic for workplace small talk. Think about it. Asking a new colleague, when did you start working here? That is such a common, friendly way to break the ice. It instantly shows that you're interested in them as a person. See how this super simple exchange can lead to so much more? If they say they joined last year, you can easily follow up with, oh, really? What was it like starting back then? When questions are really your tool for turning a short, simple answer into a much richer, more interesting conversation. Okay, our final tool is a little bit different from the others, were. Now, this isn't a question word like what, where, or when. It's actually a verb. It's the past tense of to be. And we use it to ask simple yes or no questions about things that happened in the past, usually with you, we, or they. These questions are perfect for those quick, daily interactions you have around the office. Something like, were you at the meeting yesterday? It's a super simple, direct way to check in with a colleague. And hey, it can easily lead to a chat about what actually happened in that meeting. See? Very simple and very natural. So there you have it, our 4 key tools. But now for the big question. How do we actually build questions with them? Correctly? Well, think of this next slide as your personal grammar cheat sheet. Okay, let's break this down because it's actually pretty simple. For what, where, and when, you're going to follow a really clear pattern. You start with the question word, then a helping verb, like do or did, then the subject, and finally the main verb. But look closely. Where is different. It starts the question, and then it's followed by the subject. Why? Because where is the verb in this case? Once you get these patterns down, you'll be able to build countless correct questions. It's like a formula for success. All right, theory is great and all, but how does this actually play out in real life? Let's walk through a super common scenario and see these questions in action. I want you to imagine this. You're at a networking event, maybe a big conference. You spot someone standing by themselves, and you decide, okay, I'm going to go start a conversation. So what do you say? See how smoothly this can flow? You can start with that general, what do you do? Then you can get a little more specific with where are you based? And finally, you can dig a little deeper into their personal experience with when did you start in that role? It's just a logical, natural progression that keeps the whole conversation moving forward. No awkward silences. Okay, so by now you know the words, you know the grammar. But there's one final piece to this puzzle, and that's sounding natural. This is all about going from just being correct to being truly confident and engaged. First, let's fix a few common mistakes that can make a huge difference in your fluency. Remember, we need that helping verb, so it's where do you work? For the past tense, it's when did you arrive? And don't forget, with were, you don't add another verb after it. It's just simply, were you there?
And honestly, this might be the most valuable tip of the entire session. Good small talk is not an interview. Please, don't just fire off question after question. The key is to ask one, and then really, truly listen to the answer. And while you're listening, use these warmly action phrases like, oh really, or that's interesting. It shows you're actually engaged, and it makes the other person feel valued and heard.
Okay, so let's do a super quick recap. These are your 4 keys to unlock better small talk. What? That's for things and jobs. Where? That's for places. When? That's all about time. And where? For past situations. If you can just lock these simple functions into your brain, you'll always have a great question ready to go. And that's a wrap on our look at small talk. Just remember this, the most fluent speakers aren't always the ones with the biggest vocabulary. They're the ones who know how to keep a conversation moving forward. And now you have the tools to do just that. So my final question for you is this. Who is the first person you're going to practice with this week? Go on, take these tools, go build that social bridge. You've got this.